tons and tons of people, but they have no duplication happening. They're not talking to people about the business. Why? Because they're scared of what people are going to think about network marketing. Like, you got to be able to ask questions to boil these issues down to the root, okay? Could be a lack of belief in themselves. If they're telling themselves, who's going to want to do this with me? I mean, that was my struggle in the beginning. I mean, I did tell myself things like, well, Leslie lives in the same town I do. Why wouldn't these people join Leslie instead of me? I mean, or why would they join me instead of Leslie? Or I would tell myself things like, so what if I was a diamond? I wouldn't know. All these people looking at me, like wanting me to like tell them something. I mean, that was scary to me, guys. So that was really a fear of success. And I didn't know that. Fallon had to show me that through asking questions. Okay, so usually if people are not taking action, they lack belief in one of those three areas, products, business, or themselves, or they lack vision. Like, they don't even realize how big this really could be. And you know what? They're not going to realize it if you don't tell them. So you have to tell people their potential. And you know what? When you tell them, they forget. So you got to tell them again and again and again. And I will say, Fallon, the bulk of the time that Fallon has spent with me, which, by the way, has been hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, has not been training me how to grow my business. It's been helping me work through mindset issues that I've dealt with over the years. Not being a therapist, but really asking me good questions to help me determine, why am I thinking that? And is that even true? Sometimes you just don't even see your own blind spots, right? Everybody needs that coach to ask them good questions, draw it out. So if they're not taking action, what do they lack belief in? And what vision do they lack? It's one of those two things. By the way, you're not going to motivate people who are unmotivated with incentives. I've had so many people will come say, should I do a giveaway for my team to get them to do X, Y, Z? And I'm thinking, I don't know. Are they already doing X, Y, Z? Because, I think our comp plan should be pretty dang motivating. If that don't motivate them, then they just flat out ain't motivated. I'm not saying don't do prizes for your team, because prizes are fun. Like, they serve a purpose. Prizes serve a purpose. I'd say fun and culture building, and also just showing gratitude as a leader that your team's working hard and they're producing results and you benefit from that. So they show gratitude. So they have a purpose, but if the purpose of the incentive is to motivate somebody who's not motivated, I'm telling you right now, it ain't going to work. You cannot motivate somebody. People have to motivate themselves. You know what you can do? Inspire them. You know what inspires people? Your results, number one, your own results, and then belief and vision. You want your team to work harder? Inspire them. Go be successful whether they are or not. That inspires people. And then communicate vision and belief to them. Okay, if they are taking the right actions and not getting the results that they want, then it could be a skill set. Oftentimes, though, as I'm working through to figure out what skill set it is, almost always it goes back to mindset still, though. But there's only 4 pillars in this business, 4 skills, major skills that you have to learn and master if you're going to build to financial freedom. 4 skills: recruiting, retaining, duplicating, leading. So here's a flow chart. Have my assistant make this up. This is basically my brain on paper, and I hope that it's not confusing. Hopefully it's clear. I try to have her make it into like a flow chart. So questions to ask. What actions are you taking daily to grow their business? So are they even taking action? If they are taking action and not getting results, then you can go into the skill set. What results are you wanting that you're not getting? What actions, what do you need to do more of that's going to produce the results that you're wanting? And are you taking those actions? All right, so if it's a skill set problem, then you have to kind of determine which one of the skill sets are they struggling with the most. Because they might be great at recruiting, but if they're losing every person that they get as quickly as they get them, then they're going to feel like they're working really hard and spinning wheels. Like they're on a treadmill, going nowhere. Running real fast, going nowhere. So figure out which one of the 4 pillars it is. Maybe they have great recruiting and retention, but they're not duplicating. They don't have any business builders. So that would be duplication. Okay. So first thing is, are they recruiting consistently? If they're not, are they doing consistent IPA? Maybe they are doing consistent IPA, but do they have influence? If they don't have influence, they can develop influence by learning how to add value to others. And I think it goes back, Emily nailed it yesterday when she said, you become an influencer by adding value to yourself first. Can't give what you don't have. So do they have influence? If they don't, they need to figure out how to add value. By the way, it's their responsibility to figure out how they can add value, not yours. Not your responsibility to figure out for them how they add value. They have to go on a path of their own self-discovery and figure that out. How's their branding? Are they adding value on social media? Sometimes I will go to people's Facebook and just kind of analyze it and see if they are adding value, like would I want to follow this person? So it could be any of those things. So if they are recruiting consistently, maybe they're not recruiting quality people. Maybe they're going after all the easy joins and not really talking to anybody who makes them uncomfortable. If they're not recruiting quality people, why not? If they are recruiting quality people, then move on to the next pillar. Are they retaining? So they got recruiting down. They're consistently recruiting at least 3 a month. 6 is optimal. Are they retaining? So you can have them determine their 30, 60, 90, and 120-day retention rates by, I don't want to confuse everybody here, so let me think of how to explain this clearly. You can sort your virtual office by join date, and then you scroll back to the month prior and see who ordered in the previous month. And you have to do this after all subs have processed. So let's just say today is April 29th, or today's April 30th. So if I want to know what my 30-day retention is, I would go find all the people, all my level 1s who joined in March and see who's still ordering and take a percentage. Do the same thing, see who ordered in February and who's still ordering. That's your 60-day. And then look in January to see who's still ordering. That's your 90-day, and on, okay? And then you want to have them do the same thing for their level 1s. They need to know what their level 1's retention rates are. And if it's at least 70% of higher, I'd say they're doing pretty good, because we're going to lose some. But if they're losing more than 30%, then you need to troubleshoot there. Like, first of all, do you have everybody on a customer care system? Like, you know exactly what you need to say to every person on which day? Are you taking time to troubleshoot with people? Like, are you even checking in with your people, right? So that is one thing you want to look at if their retention is not good. Then the next thing, are they duplicating? Determine their silver development rate. If the silver development rate just means look at your level 1s, and out of how many people you have recruited, how many of them are silver or above? That's your silver development rate. It should be at least 10%. If it's below 10%, then they're not sharing the opportunity with everybody, or they might be sharing it, but they're puking plexus all over people, or they're not sharing it effectively. Maybe they're talking too much and not listening. Maybe they're only talking about products getting paid for and not casting vision. Could be a lot of things. Well, not really a lot of things. It's really very simple. It's only going to be a couple things. So that's what I would look at. If their silver development rate is below 10%, they're probably just not talking to everybody about the opportunity. Maybe they need to be getting people on 3-way calls with their upline who will cast vision, or 3-way chats. If their silver development rate is above 10%, are they turning their silvers into golds? So if they're not turning silvers into golds and golds into senior golds and beyond, that means they're not casting vision high enough. Or they're not coaching their people. People hit a hurdle or a challenge and they think, oh, I guess I'm not good at this. Maybe it's just not for me. I guess I'm just not good at it. They got to be able to coach people through those things. When is the last time they created a silver? Are they in management mode? If people have a good silver development rate, but it's been a while since they've developed a new business builder, that's management mode. People who got you to Emerald are not going to be the ones who get you to Diamond. That's a general rule. So, I know when I went Emerald, I didn't go into management mode. I thought, okay, I worked so hard to get to Emerald, and now I'm going to help my team go Emerald, and when they all go Emerald, I'll be a diamond. Imagine my surprise when I was still Emerald 2 years later. So don't go into management mode. Leaders always have to be recruiting. You've got to be bringing on new people, because the fact of the matter is, your people are going to go through some seasons in life. Sometimes hard things happen. Sometimes they might have to take a step back. One time, Christina had to take a step back. She was really, really sick with her last pregnancy, and she was in and out of the hospital. I mean, she could have died. It was very dangerous. And I was grieving over that and really sad about it. But at the same time, I didn't sit there and wait for her to come back to work. That was the next month. I recruited 5 people, and out of the 5, 3 of them went silver. Out of those 3, 1 of them went emerald. So I wasn't sitting around waiting on my person who's going through a hard time in her life to come back to work. I'm getting myself out of management mode. You know what? Then I went sapphire. Just a few months later, I went sapphire. Got out of management mode. All right, next one, are they leading? So if you look at your own personal retention rates based on your level 1s and your own silver development rates, that's going to tell you a lot about your own personal customer service, or if that applies to your level 1 you're coaching. If you look at their retention rates and their silver development rates, that's going to tell you about what they're doing. But if you look at your level 2s and 3s retention rates and silver development rates under them, it could tell you a lot about your level 1's leadership. Not always, because sometimes you just have somebody under them who is really strong in one area and they just do that, and do that, and do that, and do that. But this person has other legs who might be doing better with retention or duplication or whatever. So for this particular leg, you want to look deeper, not just at your level 1's numbers, but look at their 2s and 3s. And what does it say about what the level 1 is doing or not doing? Also, leaders add value. Is this person intentionally adding value to their team? Do you see them talking about their team, serving their team? Do you see them showing up in front of their team, being a visible leader? Leaders lead by example. Is this person on the calls with their cameras on and engaged, listening, speaking up on book clubs? This is important. These are things leaders do. And guys, a lot of times it doesn't occur to people that this is what they should be doing until a leader says, hey, this is what leaders do. Because they're showing up to learn. And a lot of times people will think, oh, I'm here to learn. Look at all these leaders. They're so smart. And it doesn't occur to them that, hey, I'm a leader too. I have team members on here. I also need to be saying something so that my team can see me being a leader. Okay, last thing about coaching. You have to be willing to give people hard truths. Apparently this is where I really shine. And it's just because I love people, y'all. It really does come from a place of love, and they know it. This is not a red thing. You do not have to be red to give people hard truths, okay? Giving people hard truths does not mean you're mean. If you're doing it right, it means you love them. You can say the hard things out of love just like you would with your kids. You cannot be scared to push them or hurt their feelings. You've got to be scared of the consequences if you don't. So you say the hard things because you care. And people know when you care. People know when you're coaching from irritation versus agitation. They know. All right, some examples of hard truths. You talk too much and you don't listen. And you can figure out a tactful way to say that. I really just typed these out real fast. But guys, these are actual things I've had to say to people on my team, and I'm not going to name any names, but y'all probably could guess who most of them are. It's not just Christina. I got a lot of level 1 leaders. I mean, these are things that I've had to say to different level 1s on my team. You talk fast, and you might ask questions, but then you don't give people enough time to respond to your question. Like, you got to be okay with like a kind of an awkward, uncomfortable silence that's longer than like 2 seconds before you jump in there and answer their question for them. People need time to process. You ask a question, you got to pause, let it be uncomfortable, fight the urge to jump in and answer for them. These are things I have said to people. You're not going deep enough, or you're cutting the conversation off when it gets uncomfortable. Christina told on herself on that one. Because she did do that, but I wasn't going to say her name. You're telling people all the actions to take, but you're not getting to the root of why they're not taking the action. Here's a good one. You're being negative. Man, people don't like to hear that. They do not like to hear that, but you know what? We're all prone to it. I respect somebody so much who will call out my mindset trash. I got some real close friends who will do that. You know what? They're in my downline. Because sometimes I struggle with this too. And because I have been so intentional about calling out their mindset trash, if I hear it come out of their mouth, like, stop it right there. My people will do the same for me. They will hold me accountable. And that's love, guys. I feel loved when they do that. I don't get mad. Although I might not always like to hear it, but they right. That was not adding value. That was subtracting. It's another way of saying you're negative. I mean, there's been times where we're in a group setting, guys, and like it could be my very closest leaders, and y'all, we're all best friends, like in real life. Like what you see on social media, that's how we live our lives. And we're all close, like we feel comfortable around each other. We feel like we can let our hair down and be ourselves. I still expect every person in the room to add value. It's not a place for negativity or complaining or you know, just getting in a mental funk or venting. And I have called leaders out on that because and it's easy for them to feel comfortable and feel like it's okay for me to share this here because this is a safe place. I still expect you to add value. It's a safe place. You can share and be vulnerable, but you're not going to be negative and you're not going to subtract. And I will call them out, not in front of people. I go to them one-on-one, like we talked about yesterday. I don't handle it right in the moment in front of people. I will handle it privately later, but I'll bring it to their attention. Hey, you remember when you said that? That was actually subtracting. These people are looking to you for leadership. Even if they're not in your downline, they expect you to add value to them. They're looking to you as a leader. You got to act like